So last class we have been discussing about the workflow rules, and we implemented one of the workflow rule, and we understood how the workflow rules work. And we have a two type of actions: immediate workflow action and time dependent action. And there are four things are there: new email alert, new field update, new outbound messages, select existing function. Select existing function is nothing but whatever the action that I have inside the whatever the workflow actions we have. So those all actions I can select: email alert or field update or outbound messages. Any of them I can select and use it for the another workflow. Okay. So that means actions can be used in multiple workflow rules. So this is about the workflow. So workflow, we have gone through that. This is just to understand how the automation works. Okay. But right now, Salesforce is saying that they are going to remove the workflows and process builder. And they are also given the deadline when they are going to take out. Workflows are in the October and process builder is in the February. But are they going to completely remove it? That I'm not sure. Okay. So there might be few companies or few clients who are using the workflows. So we don't know that. So right now, that is as of today, that is a decision that is given by Salesforce. October 22nd, 2022, they will turn off the workflows. That means they are not going to support the workflows. If you have any issues with the existing workflow, Salesforce is not going to give us a support on that. So that is overall idea, but it is good to learn the workflows because we will know how the automation works. How the automation works and what are the different actions we have: immediate workflow action and time dependent action, and what are the different events that we have. So once we are clear, so that means right now we are on good understanding on the automation side. So based on that, today I'll be covering the flows. Before I move on to the flows, anybody has questions in the workflow rules, or anybody wants to go through the workflow rules right now, or process builder? Process builder, I'm not going to cover. So directly we are going to jump on the flows. Are we good to move on flows?
Yeah, I have a question, madam.
Yeah.
That action of assigned task is removed recently by Salesforce or what?
Yes, it is removed recently.
Okay. Okay, madam. Thank you. And how about classic and interface when they are going to remove kind of, madam?
Classic interface means the classic mode you are talking about. That
Yeah,
will be there. There is no announcement on that. I have not heard.
Okay.
Okay. So we are going to discuss about the flows, lightning flows. Right now, everybody is talking about lightning flows. So we are going to discuss about lightning flows. We will see what exactly a flow. We will see what is a flow and how can we configure the flows in Salesforce. So whenever we are configuring the flow, what are the variant elements available? What are the various type of flows are available in Salesforce? So everything we will be seeing that, and how to automate the flow for a certain scenarios, like whatever we have implemented for the workflow, how can we do it using the flow? So before the lightning flows, so what is the concept? Why it came the lightning flows? Like before, Salesforce has a lightning flows. That means if any business scenario, in case if it is not possible to implement by workflows or process builder, or is there any, if there is any customization, even little bit customization is there, then we used to immediately jump onto the Apex programming, like updating a record, deleting a record, collections, writing the small collections, iterating to the records, along with that small UIs. Right, so this is what we used to do before the lightning flows. Now Salesforce has given the flexibility, instead of going with the development for these small of things, they have given the flexibility to admin to configure few scenarios or couple of scenarios without development help. Admin can do that. Without development help, admin can configure the flows. So that is overall concept behind that in order to introducing the lightning flows. Now here, there are two types are there, flows and flow builder. Flows and flow builder. Flows and flow builder. There are two things are here. Everybody talks about flows. But flows and flow builder are the same. Are same? No, they are not same. Flow is an application inside a Salesforce. Flow is an application inside a Salesforce that automate the business process. Flow is an application inside a Salesforce that will automate the business process. Whereas flow builder is the tool. It is a tool. With the help of this tool, we can create Salesforce flows. Ultimately, we are landing at the flows, but using what? Using the flow builder. Using the flow builder. Flow builder is the tool. Flow is the application. Using the tool, we are going to implement or implement the few business scenarios or implement a few business scenarios in Salesforce flows. Right? Flow builder is different. Flow is a different. Now flow has, there are different ways we can build it. Flow is different ways we can build it. So how do you want to start the building? That means when you go for the flow builder, it will ask which way do you wanted to go ahead? Which way do you wanted to implement your flow? Do you want to go with the free form or do you want to go with the auto layout? There are two ways we can implement flow. Two ways we can implement a flow. One is free form and the second one is auto layout. Free form is nothing but you can drag the component onto the window. It's similar like a page layout. It's similar like a, no, do not assume exactly same. Like how do you drag the fields on the layout? For example, if you go to any account, there is a page layout. So let's edit. Now, if I wanted to put this here, assume that this is a field component. Okay. So you wanted to bring it here. So how can you do it? You can drag it and place it here. So free form is nothing but we can drag a component onto the window or drag a component onto the canvas. Auto layout is nothing but you need not to drag. There is nothing to require to drag because Salesforce automatically position all the elements and connector for the developers. You need not to do anything. Salesforce automatically position all the elements and connectors for the developers. You only has to decide which component to use for the auto layout. For the free form, you have to select the component. So there are three steps here. You have to select the component, drag onto the window, and you have to make a connection or build a connection between two components. Build a connection between two components. So whatever you have dragged on the window, you have to connect that to some other component. Here in auto layout, you just have to decide which component to use and then select it. Select the component. As soon as the component is selected, then connection is automatically implemented. You need not to again build the connection. The connection is getting updated and it is placed onto the window. You need not to drag it. Right? These are the two different ways we can build it. Okay. But once everything is implemented, both look same. Once the flow is implemented, at the end, these two look same. There is nothing much difference. I'll show you what is the difference when we go with the free form and what is the difference when we go with the auto layout. Okay. So now those are different ways to build the form. Those are different ways to build the form. Once we decide which way to go, let's assume that we are going with the free form. Whether it could be a free form, auto layout. There are two type of processor are there. Flows are two types of process. One is screen flow and second one is auto launched flow. Auto launched flow. Screen flow and auto launched flow. Now let me show you this so that you will understand. So what is the navigation setup? Search for flows. So here we have a flows. Inside the build, create, workflow, approvals, there we have a flows. Okay, so now let's go ahead and click on a new flow. Okay, so here there are two types of flows are there. One is screen flow, and next one is auto launched flow. Screen flow and auto launched flow. Right, let's click on create. So by default it is showing me the auto layout. Before we used to have a free form here. Now free form is not there. So here it is by default, it is showing me the auto layout. If I change auto layout to free form, what will happen? These all details will come. So I have to drag this, select the component, drag it onto the window. Let's keep the API name. Then you have to make a connection. Then you have to make a connection. If it is a auto layout, the connection is automatically made. Now here I can click on add element, then I can choose the screen element. Screen 2. Done. So it is showing the screen 2. Now if you wanted to delete this, select this and delete the element. So I have just selected the component and add it, auto connection is automatically made here. Is that clear? Free form and auto layout.
Yes.
Yes, madam.
So for the auto layout, what is the screen flow? What is the auto layout flow? So let's go ahead and understand. So first one is flow. And this flow is divided into the two types of process. One is screen flow. And second one is auto launched flow. Auto launched flow. Auto launched flow. What is a screen flow? Screen flow means if I have, like, let's take a step back. In the development sessions, what we are doing, we are implementing the UI. We are implementing the UI. So for example, first name, last name, okay, email. These all informations we are implementing in the Visualforce pages or Lightning Aura or LWC. Right? So whenever we click on a button, backend, we are doing some logic. This is assume that this is a save button. Or customized save. It's not a standard save, custom save. So on clicking on custom save, I have some logic at the backend which gets executed. Right? For that, we have to call the Apex control. Instead of going with all of this, now Salesforce has given the flexibility that you can implement basic UI like field. I can display the fields, whatever the fields I want, I can display. I can implement the UI using the screen flow. Screen flow is nothing but implementing a UI or building the UI screen. Building the UI screen. Auto launched is nothing but without UI. This is without UI. Without UI, execute the logic automatically. Execute the logic automatically. Auto launched is without UI. Execute the logic automatically. Now that means let's go back here, leave. Now when I click on new flow, it is asking me, there are two types are there. One is core and second one is all templates. Okay. Now first we'll see core. Now core, we have a screen flow. Screen flow is nothing but this is a UI. Now let's go ahead and create. Now, as soon as I create it, it is showing me the screen option where I can pull different fields like a phone number, right? And text. I can build all of this and I can show that. Fine. So that is the screen flow. Now click on new. We have a auto launch flow. Auto launch flow is nothing but you will not see the screen. You will not see the screen. Screen option is not available here. Right, directly we have a action subflow. Action subflow. We cannot see the screen here. We cannot see the screen. So as soon as I click on this, one is screen flow and rest all is auto launched. And another one is record trigger flow. Schedule trigger, record triggered, platform, auto launch flow. These all are auto launched. That means auto launched is divided into the four different types. Auto launched is divided into the four different types. One is scheduled trigger. Scheduled trigger. Next one is record triggered. And we have a platform event trigger. Platform event trigger. And next we have auto launched trigger. Auto launched no trigger. Schedule trigger, record trigger, platform event trigger, auto launched no trigger. Schedule trigger means using the flows, we can schedule any specific transaction. For example, if you wanted to run logic night 1 a.m. whenever the users are or whenever the employees are or nobody is available on the system, I wanted to automatically run the logic because that time my system will be free. So it will be faster. So I can schedule it every day from Monday to Friday. I run the specific business logic at 1 a.m. so that I can schedule it here. Record triggered flow is nothing but it's similar to the trigger. Before insert, after insert. This is similar to the trigger. Platform event trigger. Platform event trigger is if I have to tell in generic scenario, let's take this one. For example, you have, whenever you receive a error, that error could be from the Apex, or it could be from the API, or it could be from the third-party system. Ultimately, we are seeing some error while performing some action. So whenever there is any error happens, I wanted to place that error in the separate object exception. In the separate object exception. So those kind of scenarios, we can handle it here. What is the platform event? Hold on it, because that will come later. It's a much further topic into the development. Auto launched. This is without a trigger. Without a trigger means I do not want to check after insert or before insert. We wanted to execute the logic. So these are the different 4 type of auto launched. These are 4 type of auto launch. Here, schedule trigger flow launches at specific time and frequency for each record in a batch. This auto launch flow runs in the background. That means this is going to schedule in specific time. Auto launch flow, no trigger. That means this will launches when invoked by Apex process or REST API and more. This auto launch flow runs in the background. That means maybe this can be called by Apex or REST API. We used to call it from the process builder. Now we do not have a process builder. So somebody is triggering this flow. So that time it will get executed, no trigger, auto launch flow. The record trigger flow is while updating or deleting, inserting, we wanted to call this flow, we can call this record trigger flow. Platform event, when a platform event message is received. So basically a message is received to the platform, or some, if you wanted to log error messages, then we can call this. Any questions so far on this entire screen? So let's go to the free form. So free form is divided into the 3 sections. Interactions, logic, data. Okay, so we have interactions, logical, and then we have a data. Data, SFDC, right? So free form is divided into 3 sections. into three types. Free form is divided into three types. One is interaction, logical, data. In the interactions is nothing but we are directly or indirectly connecting to the customer through the UI. Communicating with the customers through the UI. So which is screen. Okay. And also whenever they on screen, whenever they are performing it, they wanted to follow certain actions. So we can use the actions also. Okay. And the next one is, for example, there is a 10 pages of form. Once I enter the 10 pages of form, I wanted to redirect to the another screen. Maybe thank you message screen. So I have to call this screen to another screen. So how can we call? Using the subflow. Using the subflow. We can call another flow using the subflow. So interaction is divided into the three: screen, action, subflow. Interaction is divided into screen, action. This is perform action outside of the flow. Subflow, these are the three types. Now coming to the logical. Logical is divided into 5 types. Logical. So logical is basically assignment. Assignment is nothing but assigning a value to the variable, kind of that. So I'm assigning a value to the variable. It's like a equal to 5. I'm assigning a value to the variable. Now next logical is decision. Decision. Decision is nothing but if the condition is true, then send an email. If condition is false, then update it. If condition is false, show error message. Okay, decision, yes or no. Then we have another logical, which is loop. Another one which we have loop. Loop is nothing but, for example, business scenario is you wanted to know the count of contact. Account has around 10 contacts and you wanted to go through the each contact where the contact email is not equal to null. So basically developer want to go through all the contact details and verify is there email or not. So iterating through the records. So that is a loop. Then next one we have collection sort. Collection sort. So collection sort is nothing but control the collection size, keep all the items or set the maximum number of items. So we can use the one collection variable here and we can create a one new collection sort. And next one is collection filter. Collection filter is basically you wanted to filter on based on a certain collection. This collection filter is new. It was not there before. And collection sort was there. reordering, collection sort, and collection filter. These are the 5 logicals in free form. Free form logical is divided into the 5. Next, coming to the data. Data is divided into the 4 types. Data is divided into the another one added 5 type. Okay. Before it was having a create record, update record, get record, and delete record. Now the rollback records also they have added. Data is 5 types. It's basically DML operation. DML operation, create a record, update a record, delete a record, get record, and rollback. Rollback is the new one. Rollback a record. They are talking here record. It's not a collection. They are talking about record. We can do the collection by including the loop. Logical loop, data, update. We have to connect. So it's not a single record, records. So in case if I have a scenarios, let's say updating a account value. Whenever we are updating the account name, then I wanted to automatically update the contact record name also. Whenever I update the account record name, then what are the related account contacts are there, I wanted to update. So here account. Inside this account, I have a contact. So if I update any name here, then I want the contact last name should be updated with a similar to the account. Okay, let's assume that. So in the scenario, what are the things that we have to do? Based on our understanding, what are the things we have to do? It should be auto launch flow because there is no screen flow there. Auto launch flow. In auto launch flow, I have to go with the record trigger after update. I'm not going to schedule. My business scenario is as soon as the account record is updated, I wanted to update the contact details. Or probably let's think same account on updating the name. Then by default, I wanted to update phone number. So here record triggered flow. In the record trigger flow, which interaction do I need to go for it? Screen, action, or subflow? Probably we have to go with the action. Okay. Once we decide the action, then first logical decision. Decision is, do I have a contact on this account or not? If yes, loop through all the account contact. Loop through all the contacts related to the account. If no, then end there. Once it starts looping through it, then collect all the information. At the end, pass the data to the data. Where I am doing it, update the record. In case if update is failed, then go ahead and roll back the records. So in our flow, these everything will be involved. Each and everything step will be involved. Each and every step gets involved. We have to identify which component suits for our business scenario. Fine, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's go ahead and write the text for each, whatever we have understood. What is the interactions that we have? What is the interaction?
Screen, action, and subflow.
So interaction is nothing but interacting with the users. Interacting with the users. How are we going to interact with the users? Using the screen or action or subflow. Subflow. Screen is UI. Screen is UI. Action is nothing but sending kind of an email, sending an email. Sending an email automatically. So the scenario that we have worked in the workflow rules. As soon as the email address is added onto the hiring manager, we wanted to send immediately an email alert. So we can do it using the action. Subflow. So as I mentioned, once the form is filled, then we want to call another form. We want to call other form, which sits in different flow. Called subflow. So what is this means? That means there are few flows which are implemented generic. Those are called as a general flows or generic flows. So using this generic flows, we can combine this generic flow anywhere with the other flows. Like a thank you message, it needed for every screen flow. So I can create a thank you message and keep it that flow generic. And I can use whichever the UI is needed, I can call that thank you screen. Next one, logic. What is the logic here? What are the different type of logics we have?
Assignment, decision, loop, collection sort, and collection filter.
Assignment, decision, loop, collection sort, and collection filter. Sai, Kiran, what are the different types we have in data?
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get you.
What are the different types are there in data? What are the different actions we can do it in the data? what are the different things we can do it using the data? What are available in the data? What are the things are available in the data?
Create, update,
Delete, update, edit, and roll back.
Can you repeat that?
Delete,
create,
create,
Delete,
update, edit,
Create, get,
auto roll, मतलब sorry, roll up,
roll back,
roll back,
get,
get.
are these correct?
there is no edit,
Who said edit? DML operation, CRUD operation. CRUD operation will not have a edit. Instead of edit, will have a update. So delete records, update records. Create records. Roll back records. Get records. Fine. So the interview questions. What is flow? What is flow? What are the different type of flows? What are the different ways to create a flow or to build a flow? What is free form flow and what is auto layout flow? What is screen flow? What is auto launched flow? What are the different type of flows in auto launched flow? What are the different types of available in auto launch flow? What is scheduled trigger? What is scheduled trigger flow? What is scheduled trigger flow? What is record trigger flow. What is auto launched? No trigger flow. How this auto launched? No trigger called. How this auto launch trigger flow called. Okay. What is the is flow and flow builder same? That's all. These are the interview questions. Okay. And one more thing here in the flow, whenever we create it, here this is the auto layout freeform. Now we have a different options here: run, debug, active, save as, save. So we will see these tomorrow. What are these each button? Okay, because once we create a one flow, we can know how the each flow is each button is playing a role. And here we have a help, flow builder help. In case if you want a keyboard help, you can take it. Trailhead Trailblazer community, view tips and new tips. No, do not click this on this mute tip. Do not try to click on this mute tip. Even not even over there. There's something wrong. Okay. So these are the buttons. We will see when we implement a flow, each button, how it is playing a role for the flow. And here for the auto layout, we do not see element here, right? By clicking on this, we can select it. But in case if you wanted to select, remove this element, then it's gone. Like for example, if I have added the screen flow, okay, let's assume that window element, let's say done. Now, in case, okay, now it is not coming. Once as soon as I save it, this will get enabled. So in case if I wanted to undo, redo, I can do those all elements. And we can also have a step. Setup is also there. So tomorrow we will see, we will create a one flow tomorrow, basic flow. And that time we will save the flow and we will see all these options on top. Okay. So that's all for today. Any other questions before I log off?
Ma'am, any kind of limitations of flow, like any individual task which cannot be done by flow?
Limitations we will discuss tomorrow. Limitation, do not worry about it. First we'll understand this, then we'll go to the limitations.
Okay, ma'am.
No, one more question that with ScreenFlow, whatever we can implement, that we can implement with auto launcher also, right?
Auto launch flow screen will not be having it. There will not be no screen will be available. So auto launch flow, If you click on this, you will not see the screen. Okay, any other questions? Okay, then thank you. We'll meet tomorrow, same time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank